wearing all black.
Aloha! Here with JC and Jeff.
Ain't no time for school today.
Hitting bombs.
Hey, watch this punch cut lob wedge. Replace your Marshalls with cart girls. They're better looking. They're serving drinks.
Got to hit bombs off the tee.
Phil talking about a guy taking a shit in the cut.
Mahalo!
That's what we did fireside with Phil.
Fire the stick.
Hit bomb and attack the pin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Aloha Press Show. I'm JC, joined today by my co-host Jeff. Buddy, are you as pumped up as I am that, yes, we just watched the Ryder Cup, US fucking dominated, kicked ass, but next week is the start, our own fucking event, the fucking Super Bowl, the Aloha Press Classic.
Well, yeah, I think it got real tonight because, you know, it's 7 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock where you're at. We just spent an hour and a half prior to this show picking the tee boxes for both days. I might have made a mistake. I just sent out a little sneak peek to my brother, and now he's very excited, sending me messages that he's not going to hit it into the beach on 17 since we went from the whites and the reds. There's a little sneak peek for you. You know, we made it different than last year. Very exciting. I can't wait to get. I'm so excited. I'm going to go to Tahoe this weekend just to look at the golf course.
Well, good God, it's Tahoe. It's just, this is it. Yeah, Jeff and I and brother Ben fucking sat down, worked out some of the tees, and which is just so unique because we got our own legit tees that we strategically placed around the golf course. So the golf course you'll never ever play again. It's not like last year. It's not going to be like next year. And we got Aloha Press flags. We got Randy setting up tees. It's just I'm super pumped up about it, but. Before we get into the show, we got to thank our Aloha Press Classic sponsors because last week we did not do a good job of that, and I apologize. We had an hour and a half show talking about, you know, chicks and girls and Ryder Cup stuff. We forgot to thank the people who are making it happen. So first and foremost, I want to thank Amateur Canine Deputy Sheriff Canine Fund for supporting us, and then we got Mikey Blotti who's going to be pumping out some cash for Saturday night's player party. And then we got Spring Valley Excavation, you know, dropping some cancer sticks, big old chunky cigars that we're going to be enjoying. And then we've got Merriman Sports, Motivate Personal Fitness, Matic Vukovic, donating just, we've got personal training, we've got fucking cash, we got clubs that are being donated. And then sure enough, we got Denisa with Keller Williams Realtor and Wade's Farm. Cardinelli Investments, Bilotti Cigar and Cocktail Bar are producing some incredible closest to the pin prices that I'm rather pumped up about, Jeff.
Hey, and I'm going to add one more in there, a late addition. You know, a guy that wanted to play this year, Steve Simmons, can't make it. So he just dropped by every Giants fan's dream. You know, a little Bruce Bochy, Buster Posey, Brandon Belt signed MLB baseball in a case. We're going to give that away on one of the little closest to the pins as well. So, last year we only had 2 closest to the pin gifts, 2 in 2 days. We've got 6 this year. Things are looking up, and we got a long drive.
Oh, I forgot about the long drive. Wes Winley hustling. I can't remember his company's name that we nicknamed him, but he's giving out he's giving out like $200 cash for Saturday after the round of golf. You're going to be stepping over on the driving range. I just got the flight scope endorsed by Mr. Long Drive himself, Bryson DeChambeau. We're going to have this thing out there measuring fucking distances and testing the guys' long drive, competition, which I'm pumped up about. I think it's going to be a fun addition to the Classic this year.
Hey, I got a question for you. I know we give away the Aloha Press chain for winning the golf tournament, and Wes has donated some cash. He's fucking coming through for this long drive, but do you think he's going to put the fucking cross chain on the line too? From the Cancun Classic out there, the Aloha Press retreat, that thing's very important to him. He might bring that out.
I think if he's swinging the big stick, the big ding ding, I think he's got to wear the Aloha Press Cancun retreat cross. The thing that literally it does 2 things. You can hold on to it when you're about to end your life or if things are going bad for you, or you can use it to pelt someone in the face because it's like a fucking set of nunchucks. It's pretty remarkable.
Hey, I know we told some stories of the Cancun retreat. I know we've kept a lot in our pocket. That thing probably saved his life though, making that purchase. So this thing is a very important medallion in the Wes Winley family.
It's rather incredible. We're gonna see it up at Edgewood Tahoe. So we're pretty pumped about it. If you want to join, we've had 3 people drop out. We've got 3 spots available. So if you want to join us in Tahoe and you're ready to roll the dice and come, partake in some of the activities that we've got saved up for you, you can reach out either on the website and or just reach out to Jeff and I, and we'll get you squared away. If you want to sponsor, if you want to add a little mix, if you want to, add your flavor and get in front of a bunch of people, unless we do an hour and a half long show and forget to actually bring you up, we'll promote you. We'll promote the shit out of you. Plus you're going to have a good time just being involved in it. So, Jeff, before we move on from the classic talk, if you were going to prepare for the long drive contest, are you preparing more for the long drive contest or the golf tournament?
Well, the best part about our long drive contest, and I hate long drives on most golf courses because they're usually only there when you're playing a 4-man scramble. So sometimes you get screwed and it's your first hole of the day. You're not loose, you're not warmed up. The best part about ours is it's once you're done. You've played 18 holes, you've had a lot of beverages, a couple cigars, you're lubed up. I mean, if you were ever going to be able to just go out and let one rip, it's after your round. And I mean, we're going to usher you straight from the 18th green to the beverage cart to the goddamn driving range to hit your shot. So I'm very excited. I don't even think you have to practice one. I mean, you got 18 holes to get loose.
Well, that's what my favorite part is. That's why I'm so pumped up about it. Like because they usually put the long drive contest in the most dumb hole in the world. It's like there's water everywhere. I'm not warmed up. I'm not warmed up, physically and or mentally. This way, we're going to get after it. Everyone's going to play the same golf ball, which is going to be fun. You're not going to have the guys switching out from the top flight to the fucking Pro V1. It's you're going to be able to, you'll be able to play the same golf ball as everyone else, when everyone's got the same advantage.
Well, hey, and those middle to last groups that go out on that day of the long drive, they're going to have a crowd around them. Not only the people that are playing in the golf tournaments, the 40 golfers and the family and friends that are there, but the rest of the driving range, the rest of the people sitting up at Brooks having a cocktail and some appetizers. So, I mean, it's going to put a little bit of showmanship on the line too. It's not just you and your foursome out there, in the middle of nowhere out on the golf course.
It's if you pull hook top one into the Edgewood Lake Tahoe, it's gonna be on video. It's gonna go on social media. That's the one thing I'm nervous about. But Jeff, without further ado, after 3 years, we had the Ryder Cup. Beautiful Wisconsin. The U.S. stole, however you want to explain it, from the European team. It was an emotional victory. I heard that Tiger Woods said step on their neck and finish them at one point in time in maybe a Saturday night meeting. But Jeff, how exciting was the Ryder Cup this weekend? And that finish, holy shit, it was just absolutely crazy.
Well, I mean, day 1 and day 2 were very exciting. It was fun to watch the Americans come out and win session after session after session, and really give them zero hope going into Sunday, which takes a little of the drama away on a Sunday. I mean, really, were the Europeans going to come out and win, 10 of 12 matches? Probably not. It wasn't going to happen, even with Rory going out and getting his only point of the week. But I'll tell you one thing I took away from this course. I mean, the Americans played unbelievable golf because that is not an easy golf course. It was windy. It's long. If you miss the fairway, you're dead. And they just fucking made birdie after birdie after birdie. Bryson making eagles. I mean, finding fairways. They played fucking unbelievable golf.
It was. Let's dive into the golf course because hole 1. Okay, these fuckers are nervous. You know why? It's because it's only like 340 and they're hitting driver. Okay, they're just trying to pipe it down. They're somewhere close because that club face is the biggest one in their bag, and they were absolutely fucking fired up. It was just completely notable. I mean, the crowd is just cheering, chanting at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning out there in the middle of the dark, fucking just screaming, losing their mind. And they come out of the tunnel at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're fucking fired up, ready to go. And sure as shit, that golf course and that rough and those bunkers, if you're not hitting fairways and if you're not real accurate, this United States team, I mean, a couple years ago would have gotten fucking destroyed on their home soil. They played absolutely just incredible off the tee.
No, they did it, and they putted. They putted great. Every 8 to 12 footer they needed to make for par to have a hole to keep momentum. They did it. They did it every day too. I mean, there was only one guy for the American team out of the 12 guys. There was one guy that he was shaky, and he was shaky from the get go, and that was Daniel Berger. Berger. I mean, there's a reason that he was number 12 going out on the singles day because they didn't want his match to even matter by that point.
It was Berger. He and just his putting. Good God. I mean, this guy, typically, I mean, he's won a couple times. It just was not, it was not very pretty. And kind of let down Brooks. I mean, Brooks was playing some fucking incredible golf. I mean, hitting on the green. He's driving greens with fucking 3-woods. He's out there just sinking it seemed like Daniel Berger, every time he was on the green and putted, he would leave it 8 feet short. And it was Brooks like, you motherfucker, really Burher or whatever the hell they were calling him. It wasn't very good when it came to Daniel Berger. What was the one guy for the United States team that you were kind of shocked on their performance this week?
I was kind of shocked at DJ. I didn't think he was going to come out and dominate like he did. He went out there and he played like the number one player in the world this week. I mean, he was on it from the short par putts that he had to make when his partner left it short, to being able to be aggressive. And I know Paul Azinger and all them talked about how he had the perfect pairing with Colin Morikawa. But it was one of those things. It was fun to watch him play that well again, where he really wasn't missing any shots.
DJ, I mean, shit. History books have just been written. I mean, this guy is now, I think, the 4th player in Ryder Cup history to go 5-0-0. It was remarkable. And I don't care who he was paired with. I mean, to just do it in 5 matches. I mean, he's the old sluggish uncle out there. He's a guy who clearly has been partying way too often, way too much for majority of his career. And to go out there and do that, it really showed like this actually meant something to him. And it was pretty compelling television to see just how well he played. I mean, yeah, he had Colin Morikawa. Don't get me wrong. Colin Morikawa was fucking lights out with those irons, and he just never fails. He plays so fucking well.
Well, and it was nice to see, and we talked about it in the show last week, how the Americans never really embrace this format. They never really embrace each other. It's always the rah-rah of the Europeans. The U.S., and I don't know if it was Steve Stricker, maybe the vice captains got him loose, but those guys came together, and, it might change the outcome of the next PGA Tour year because are Bryson and Brooks friends now? We don't know. I mean, hugging and kissing after the round, wearing shirts. So that dynamic might change a little bit, but they legitimately embraced the team aspect of this type of tournament, and they fucking dominated.
It showed. The United States team. I don't know what they were doing in the player room, or I don't know what kind of mix Phil had involved. I don't really know. I want to know actually, because it looks like compelling fucking television. Their interview as a group after they won the Ryder Cup, and it seemed like they had 4 or 5 cocktails. Xander Schauffele was like, I didn't even know we had to do media. I was getting hammered. It was compelling fucking TV, and it looked like they were an actual team. Brooks Koepka, Bryson, that shit ain't over. I can promise you that. But I think the media played up into that quite a bit. I think Bryson is just a big old fucking goofy kid who just never had a social bone in his body. He was the only guy that's not drinking up on the stage. He's like, I gotta stay fit. It's like, shut the fuck up, Bryson. Like, just take a deep breath and relax.
He was just pouring it all over Phil. But the one thing I think was really good for them, and I don't know, this is just a complete guess, but seeing the way they acted afterwards, seeing them be tipsy and obviously have had some beverages, but also seeing the guys that weren't playing the afternoon matches on Saturday come out and chug beers with the crowd. I mean, Berger obviously knows how to shotgun a beer. JT does not. But that's being loose, and that's obviously your captain embracing that type of behavior. I love that type of behavior. When I saw that, I'm like, okay, Stricker's all about it. He's got his guys playing. He wants his other guys to cheer him on and have fun. You didn't see the fucking Europeans doing it till after they lost.
It was, I mean, that, yes. If you guys haven't seen it, sign up for the newsletter. We'll attach it to the newsletter and maybe attach to the website. It was impressive. Daniel Berger might not be able to hit a 15-footer, okay, but he knows how to fucking shotgun a beer, okay? He was asking, he's like, give me a beer, give me a fucking, and he did it right. JT, good guy. We need to work on your party game, okay? If anyone needs to practice out in the fucking bar area, we'll show him how to do it, but what was the one thing that you saw out there that was different 3 years ago? Because it seemed like 3 years ago it just lacked the energy, it lacked like the focus, it just lacked the golf game. It just wasn't as good. And I think France 3 years ago was a much easier golf course than Whistling Straits was this year. I mean, they had to deal with fucking rain, 30, 40 mile an hour gusts, incredibly long par threes, some challenging roughs, some challenging bunkers. What was the one thing that you know was really the difference between 3 years ago and now? Was it that team aspect, or was it the shotgun and the beers with DJ?
Well, I think the team aspect's big, but I think there was two other things. It was the crowd, first off, because that crowd fucking was behind them from day one. They packed the stands. They moved where they needed to move to keep things exciting and keep the roars going. But then it was the rookies. Man, those guys, everybody expects the pressure to get to them. They expect them to fold, hit some bad shots, and they stepped up. They stepped up every single day. I mean, guys like Scotty Scheffler. I mean, are you kidding me? That guy, I didn't trust. I mean, we know he won the match play or something like that,
Yeah.
But I didn't expect him to go out there. And I think at one point he birdied 5 out of 6 holes in a certain stretch to start a match, against John Rahm. That's crazy. That's crazy good. And I think that's the difference. You have all these rookies just play really, really well.
I feel like, yeah, majority of these rookies, they absolutely, I mean, Scotty Scheffler goes out there and goes 2-0-1 in 3 of his matches. I mean, you can't ask for much more than from a rookie who really hasn't had any experience doing this. I mean, besides battling against Billy Horschel and losing to the the King Dingaling of fucking Mr. Positivity, you can't ask for much more out of a rookie, especially out of Scotty Scheffler. There was a couple guys who particularly did not play that great. I mean, Tony Finau 1-2, Jordan Spieth 1-2-1. If that's the worst that's happening, God, you have a fucking great opportunity to go out there and win. I mean, Colin Morikawa, again, rookie, so called. I mean, goes out 3-0-1, and then Dustin Johnson again, 5-0-0. It was just pretty incredible. What happened to the European Tour team? I mean, did they forget to have fun? Like it looked like after day one, you're like, oh God, this could go bad, and then day two was like, the Americans were kind of faulty there in like the middle of the second round, and then you're like, oh shit, this is over. It's absolutely, let's pop the champagne and start celebrating.
Well, I think we thought that the rah-rah and the fucking history would kind of propel them or help carry them through this year. But in the end, the fucking talent was just way too much on the American side. I mean, top to bottom. I mean, I know Lee Westwood had a good little patch of golf this last PGA Tour season, but come on, really? I mean, he's going. The U.S. is throwing out top 10s everywhere, top 10 player in the world in every fucking match almost. And your buddy, I don't even remember how you called his name out last week, Bernard Wiesbergers or
Weisenberg.
I mean,
Weisenberger.
Yeah, you're just throwing out too much talent on the U.S. side, and they actually lived up to it.
Well, and don't get me wrong, I was rather critical of the United States team. It did not look good with all the injuries, with all the nonsense that was going on in the media. You would think the European Tour would have gone out, especially with the golf course as windy as it was going to be. And then the thing that I realized happened, and I didn't even realize it until Sunday, and I realized something pretty quickly. You got a guy who made it on points. You got Bernd Weisenberg, who went 0-3-0. Okay, couldn't even get a half point for his fucking team. He met what they call the PGA Tour. Okay, that is, you just met America. Okay, because you got your fucking teeth kicked in. You've been playing over in some weird fucking tour, the B League. Okay, you just got bumped up to the majors, And all of a sudden you go, oh shit. Like, I know they don't have fans over in Europe because he could barely deal with it here in America. He was losing his mind. He did not play good. It was pretty horrible. And guys who you thought were going to be killers, Paul Casey, 0-4, Roy McIlroy, 1-3, Matthew Fitzpatrick, 0-3, Victor Hovland, 0-3-2. I mean, Lee Westwood, at least, good God, 1-2-0. You have to. The only thing they're relying on in the European Tour team was Sergio Garcia going 3-1, which was incredible, and then you had John Rahm at 3-1-1. I mean, the spicy salsa of the Spaniards were fucking full force. But other than that, they met a fucking buzzsaw of really, really good golf.
Well, and there's one other thing that I take away from the Ryder Cup, and I thought this year might be different, but Jesus Christ, whoever makes the outfits that they have to wear, I mean, it's just bad. It's bad year in and year out. I mean, they showed Justin Leonard put on his shirt from back in the day, during one of the broadcasts this week. But I mean, I know the colors for the European aren't good. That yellow and like blue are just not good. But somebody like Nike, Under Armour, somebody's got to step up and take it from Polo and Tommy Hilfiger and Hugo Boss, whoever's been making these uniforms, especially Patrick Cantlay. I mean, he looked like a woman's physique in those sweaters he was wearing with those high water pants. We got to do something about the gear. The only people that look good in the gear were the wives.
That's the only ones, because the European Tour, they look like a bunch of fucking big birds. Like, it looks like you guys are in a bunch of kumbaya, grab your guitars, and we're going to sing the ABCs to a bunch of fucking third-year-olds. I don't even know what third-year-olds are. Third graders. Well, what confused me the most is, like, Paul Azinger put his fucking Ryder Cup sweatshirt on, which is shocking. It still fits. And I'm like, we haven't evolved from these fucking knitted sweaters that look like your grandma gave them to you on Christmas. It's just, if I was a European Tour and if I was the next captain, which it seems like one of these guys who are going to get close to retiring, hint, hint, Ian Poulter or Lee Westwood might be the next captain. The first thing I would do is I would blow up those colors. I don't know where those colors came from. I mean, can we get something? If I'm the European Tour, I'm going, listen, Nike, okay? Or whoever. What's a crazy European? Let's go with Chanel. Let's go with fucking someone cooler, okay? Louis Vuitton. I'd rather see these guys dressed up in fucking all leather than what they came out in, because it would not breed any sense of confidence. John Rahm looked like fucking Big Bird this week. That's just the way it is.
No, it was bad. I mean, and the quality just looks, I know it's supposed to be polo. It's supposed to be nice, but man, the quality looks terrible. The hats are a joke. I mean, but who decided for the Americans to put their name on the back of the fucking sweaters?
Like soccer
like
players.
They're playing, like they're, yeah, like what is that?
I don't know. It wasn't a good look. And
we know who you are. You're not out there making a fucking tackle in between 22 guys on a football field. The announcers don't need to see a number or a name.
There's 12 of you.
It's not like
on a regular PGA Tour event, absolutely. Give them some name tags. Give all 20 new guys that come to the PGA Tour this year, make them wear a fucking name tag, okay? I would be totally okay with it, because I don't know who the fuck they are anyways. But if they're on the Ryder Cup team and I don't know your name, someone needs to fire the co-host of this fucking show, okay? Because if I can't point out hatless Patrick Cantlay, which, by the way, he looks like a goddamn vampire. He looks like Count Dracula. It was just, I'm like, dude, you got to cover up that schnoggin. Anyways, we're kind of on a deep end, Jeff. I don't know how we got there. I agree with you. The only people that look good in Ralph Lauren are the ladies. Other than that, Nike, Under Armour, anyone. And did you see what the U.S. team came out with the Thursday before the fucking match? They were wearing their grandpa's fucking like winter wool coats. It was just horrible. It was the only guy that looked good was Phil Mickelson, because he took the stupid jacket off because he knew he looked like an idiot. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how we just got down this rabbit hole of gear and attire. I
Fashion.
mean, I know we're big on that. I can tell you one thing: when you come to Aloha Press, I've talked to a couple guys that are coming to the Aloha Press Classic for the first time this year. New wardrobes, new golf shoes, new golf hats, a nice clean glove. Like, it's important, right? It means something. We're not going to be on TV.
No.
We're not going to be in the media. These guys are on the world stage and they dress them like that. It's a joke.
It's just, yeah, I just don't understand it. So,
Hey,
I mean,
the caddies look legit though, all wearing, Nikes and Jordans and Currys and all this stuff. And I'd like to see that Michael Jordan made it this year. I talked last week that he wasn't coming. Didn't think they would invite him. He was there.
So what did you think about the celebrities showing up? I thought it was really cool seeing Michael Jordan just post up on a hole, smoking cigars and fucking just rooting on Team USA. I thought that was pretty cool that they fucking highlighted him.
I love it. It reminds me of celebs showing up to games in LA, whether it's the Lakers or the Dodgers, and then them going out there and interacting with the European team players. You don't see Europe bringing anybody big over and interacting with the Americans where they're like in awe, but you see Jordan walk out there and Poulter can't get enough of him. And, it's got to be a little bit of kind of starstruck for some of those guys to see him. I thought it was awesome. I love seeing it. And something about Jordan with a fucking fat stick and a cup of coffee in his hand at 8 a.m. I mean, it just gets you going.
It was incredible. I mean, touching on just kind of the play that was seen out there. Rory McIlroy gets 1 point and then just absolutely melts down after his round. Of losing 0-3-1 or 1-3-0. I named him the most annoying guy in the team room last week, and I think he played up to it. I don't doubt like crying and being emotional. I understand Lee Westwood. I mean, good God, his kid got to carry his bag. It's probably the last time he's going to play on the team. But Roy McIlroy, you knew you were losing on Sunday. I was disappointed in his performance.
His performance was not very good. His interview after his Sunday round caught me off guard. I kind of half wasn't paying attention when they were interviewing him, and then I noticed him choking up. I noticed some tears. I didn't know if the family dog had died or something had happened, that I didn't know about. I didn't know these tears were just about the golf. Obviously, it's important to him. It means a lot to him. He didn't bring his A game this week, though. I mean, he let his team down. He knew it. It took a toll on him. He's got a lot of pressure. He's got the most pressure by far of all the Europeans, and he has for a long time, ever since he was a little curly-haired kid. So it's tough on him. It was a little different, though. It's a different type of interview for Rory.
It's as chalking up Ryder Cups. They liked it, the television coverage, which, by the way, on Sunday it just seemed like, and even on Thursday and Friday, it seemed like they'd show one shot and then go to a commercial. And then they'd come back to Paul Azinger talking about his way of putting people in pods, and he affected the team aspect of it, and he was giving guys advice and all this nonsense. I got to think about this particular Ryder Cup and looking back at some of the history and the excitement. I get the Americans want to step on their necks or whatever Tiger told them to do. I get that. They want to go out there and beat the record, and get it to 20. But at the same time, to be quite honest with you, this was probably one of the most boring Sundays of golf I've ever watched because it was absolutely meaningless.
Sunday was rough. To talk about the announcers, though, the three things that stood out to me, and it just drove me absolutely nuts. Paul Azinger, Justin Leonard, and Bones, right? Bones is usually pretty good. All Bones did was try to just kind of glorify every shot as the hardest shot in the world, right? You couldn't hit a bucket of balls from here and get it within 10 feet. Guy hit it to 3 feet with one ball. The guy couldn't make this putt. If you gave him 30 minutes, he makes the putt. I mean, he tried to oversensitize everything. Then you got fucking Leonard and Azinger, and all they talked about was Pete Dye and it being diabolical, D-Y-E, which drove me nuts about the greens. And then about Bryson. Bryson fucking had 189,000 mile per hour swing speed and carried it 382 on the track. They said that like 17 times.
Yeah.
I mean, they got paid. I don't know how much they get paid. They got paid 66% of their salary to say the same fucking three things the entire fucking weekend.
And this, I gotta tiptoe around this, and I don't want to screw it up, and I don't want to, I don't want to anger any of our European tour listeners, but I understand. Okay, there's this particular Spanish player who passed away a decade ago that had a lot of influence on the Ryder Cup. His name is leaving my mind because I heard it so many goddamn times this week. If I was Sergio Garcia or John Rahm, I'd be like, listen, okay, I don't care about that guy anymore. Okay, he is in our past. He played really well in Ryder Cups, and that's wonderful. We are the here and now, the guys stepping up and kicking the shit out of people. Why, Jeff? Why is it? Why is the air? Why is the thought of beautiful? What is his name? Freaking Spanish guy with the freaking one eyebrow.
Seve.
Oh yeah, good God! It is. Why is Seve the most? Why is he the king dingling of Ryder Cups for the European Tour? Do we not come up with anyone else on that side of it, or am I just a big dumb American?
No, well, I think in 2 years when we play it again, you're not going to have to hear about him or Faldo anymore, because you know why? If they're going to stick to that kind of way of announcing, Sergio's the man. He's got the most points ever now for the European. So there you go. It's Sergio. Just talk about Sergio. He'll probably be there again, considering that they bring guys that are 48 years old and you know, and I mean, fuck, Phil might be there next year. Go play against Westwood.
I want Phil Mickelson there. Good, Phil Mickelson. I would have rather had Phil Mickelson than Harris English on our team. I don't even think I ever saw a shot from Harris English. I don't think he did. I don't know what he scored. I don't know what he hit. I don't even think he was there in the celebration. Oh, there he is. See him in a little picture there. It just was not very good. I would much rather see a Phil Mickelson. If Phil Mickelson's not in it, I'm going to be rather disappointed.
Exactly. Give me an 0-5 Phil over a 1-4 Harris English.
Now, I got to ask you, okay? And I don't know if you saw the post round interviews, but that was probably one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life. The European Tour. I watched all 20 minutes of the very sad inside joke of Tommy Fleetwood. It's something to do with Tommy Fleetwood. I don't know what they were talking about. They kept calling it an inside joke. I have a feeling Tommy Fleetwood is a freak when it comes to him and his personal body, because he was talking about locker room stuff and they just giggled every time they brought up his lovely locks. But the U.S. team, Dustin Johnson, I've never seen him so annihilated in my life, and he just took over. He's like, no, that's a dumb question. You don't mean to ask that. Xander, what do you think about this? And it was one of my favorite moments.
I love it. It's real. It's kind of like us on the podcast. Give us a few cocktails, let us go out and kind of tell it how it is. You know, and they did ask him some dumb questions, especially anybody in the media should know DJ knows how to party. And it doesn't matter how old he is. That dude's not only hanging, he's fucking setting the pace.
It just shocked me that was the leading question for DJ. It's like, oh, can you keep up with these guys? It's like, good God, you know he can. But I wanted to get your take on this Jack Nicklaus Award, okay? We had 2 winners. Apparently we're passing out participation trophies for guys who can keep their mouth shut. Okay, you got Dustin Johnson winning this friendly cup. I can't even remember what the hell they called it. And then you've got Sergio Garcia winning the same damn thing for the best sportsman award. What the hell was that about?
I don't know. You know what? I only know about that because I saw it go through the fucking social media feed. I have no clue what it is. I think they give away too many of these things. You know, the Payne Stewart Award every year. Maybe keep that one, and that's about it. But if you're not winning something on the golf course, there probably should only be one award off the golf course that somebody in your league, whether it's the NFL, NBA, PGA Tour, gets every year. I mean, we don't need side awards in every event you play.
It just, if we're gonna play the 2 guys, if I'm to pick 2 guys, okay, who are the best team players, who are the most nicest guy in the world, did they watch the fucking telecast? Like, Sergio Garcia is one of the most angry fuckers on the golf. Him and Brooks are deciding if he needs to take relief from a fucking drain so he doesn't break his wrist, which was a little whiny baby. But Sergio's over there just talking shit, just spitting, just like eating snacks. It just was like, what are we doing? It was just, I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Well, hey, and Sergio was only in such a good mood because he got to play with John Rahm every day. I mean, you go ahead and put him with Matt Fitzpatrick, and they go over. He's not going to be that nice guy.
it just cracked me up. And then the award DJ, the guy who claims the reward and then just hammers about 6 beers and is talking about his wife partying later. It just, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Good for you guys. Another note thing I had on the old notes for the podcast: Brooks and Bryson. Okay, it seemed like they were overjoyed about being teammates, which everyone talked about. In the post-round interview, JT got up and announced that, before they all left, they wanted to make sure Bryson and Brooks hugged it out, which they did. What I enjoyed the most was one of the announcers or one of the people from the media decided to yell out, "Fucking go Brooksie!" Which is incredible. Is this fake news? Is this real news that this feud is now over with?
I think, to me, this means that everything leading up to it was fake news. I think at times Brooks was definitely frustrated with him on an individual level when he was losing to him in golf tournaments. But I think it's fake news. It's done. You can't go from what we just saw and then all of a sudden it's fucking villains again for the next PGA Tour season. You just can't do it. It's over with. I mean, not that they're buddies or friends, but they can't hate each other and kind of do the things they did on social media anymore because nobody's going to buy it.
I did appreciate JT after the media member said, let's go Brooksie. JT announced, get him out of here, kick him out of here. Like he's mocking what the PGA Tour has been talking about for the last 4 weeks. I think it was a fucking sham. I think it was all for social media stuff. Don't get me wrong. I think Bryson drives a lot of people crazy, but I think one of the guys who stepped up this week and played really, really well was Bryson. Him hitting a 417-yard drive and even driving hole 1, make an eagle, it's a special kind of stupid long. And I know he's preparing for this long drive contest, but if he can just fucking hit him straight, he is going to be, that's an incredible fucking talent.
He played unbelievable. But my question for you, and the only question I had in watching is, I wonder if there was some talk within the United States team and within the captains to keep him out of the alternate shot because of the way he hits balls off the tee. Because he was playing good. I mean, he's coming in. He's one of the best players in the world. And you keep him out of the morning session both days. And I just think that's what it is. I mean, he's going to take crazy lines and could potentially put his playing partner in really bad spots. So they just fucking kept him out of there because, that's his game, not theirs. But what's your take on that?
I think Scotty Scheffler said it best. He goes, it's incredible on that short par 4, the difference in lines that I took compared to what Bryson took. Bryson took this incredibly aggressive line that was right at the pin, and I trying to hit this little hook. So in case I didn't miss it, it's like 80 yards right, where I can get up and down. There was no way Steve Stricker was going to put that guy with someone who was going to put him in such a bad spot. No one practices fucking the 35-yard chip shot out of the fucking 80-inch rough. Or these awkward bunker shots. They're professional athletes and they're professional golfers. I get that. But Steve Stricker played to his advantage. You are not a team guy. Okay, that's just the way it is. You have to play your individual game because no one's preparing. Okay. All right, Harris English. Okay, guy who normally hits, the 9-iron about 145. What the hell? What the hell are you gonna do? He's gonna be putting you in the worst spots possible. And Scotty Scheffler with his footwork, could be scary. He would slide down the fucking mountain if he had to hit it where Bryson does. So I think that was a great decision, and I think there was no way you were gonna put a guy who, because so you're gonna have to get up and down all day. No one is practicing like that. They're usually on the range practicing fucking normal wedge shots.
What do you think about your boy Terrell Hatton this week, though? I just want to know. I mean, he had some outbursts, not as much as I would have liked to see, but he kind of kept it in for the most part.
He kept it in control because he just was so bad. It was as you look at this European tour and you realize, like, could there have been other guys who you could have put him in that spot? Because he just hadn't played well this entire year. I mean, earlier in the year he played pretty well. I mean, Terrell Hatton, I mean, 1 and 2, he got one victory, which I can't remember who he played with in the final day, but it just wasn't good. I mean, it was like their captain was just asking him to break a couple sets of clubs with Terrell. I'm a big fan of Terrell. I think he's a European Tour guy only. Like, if the Ryder Cup's in the European, like in Europe, bring him on. If it's in America, good God, can you imagine 40,000 people who just hate him? Like, that's not good, because he immediately just steps on the number one tee. He's just full of rage. What is he gonna do? Shotgun a bottle of champagne and just flip them all off and then tee off? Like, that might work, but other than that, I don't think he should be playing in this thing unless he's playing incredible golf or if it's in Europe.
It just kind of shocked me. I was expecting for the big outburst. I mean, at one point he fell and slid down the hill like he was a little kid. Fucking Shane Lowry fell. Jordan Spieth obviously showed that he has some athleticism outside of golf, because I'm pretty much saying out of the other 11 Americans, at least 9 end up in the fucking lake or falling in the bunker.
Absolutely.
Spieth showed some fucking skill right there. Not only the golf shot he hit, but the athleticism to stay on his feet and stop short of the fucking lake.
I mean, half of the European Tour would have been in the fucking pond. Starting with Jon Rahm. Can you imagine a wet Jon Rahm, and then have your partner miss the putt to lose on the 17th hole? I'd have been raging. So let's give the American team. Is this an American team that you look for in the next 10, 12 years that's just going to go out and dominate, or is the Ryder Cup just too far in between Ryder Cups? I mean, it's 2 years. I mean, 23 months. The next one's going to be in Rome. Do you think this team is going to be the team for the future, or is it something that, you just never know here in 2 years?
I think this is the team for the next decade. I mean, they are so young, and think about the guys that didn't even make the team that are better than what the Europeans put out there this year. I think for the next 10 years, these guys are going to be really, really, really hard to beat.
I'm with you. The guy who showed me and made me a fan, and I think is going to be pretty compelling to watch here in the next 7, 8, 9 years, especially on this Ryder Cup team, is Patrick Cantlay. That guy, he was not cool at all. He did not keep his emotions intact. You could see all of them, because he'd have a fucking hat on. You knew who he was because his fucking name was on his back of his shirt, and he was dressed like an idiot. That guy was a killer. Like, he told the reporter, hey, we want to break the record. We want to get to 20 points. We want to step on their throats. I don't think he said step on their throats, but I think he was rather pissed when Jordan Spieth and Harris English conceded their matches to essentially lose and not get to that 20 points. I think he looked like a fucking raging maniac. I think I'm a new fan of Cantlay.
We talked about this last week, how he's a boring golfer. He's a great golfer. I think I picked 2 killers, one from each side. Paul Casey didn't get it done. Cantlay got it done. He looked angry the entire time, all 3 days. If they showed his face, he was either angry or he was trying to fucking pump up the crowd after he made a fucking nice birdie. So I'm a fan. I'm can't say I'm a big fan of, like we've talked about in the past, his attire, or his golf game, but just the demeanor and what he got done out there. That's big. And he's coming off of freaking winning the FedEx and winning PGA Tour event. I mean, player of the year.
Which is still a joke. I mean, I'm going to give it to Jon Rahm, but I think I'm a bigger fan of him now than ever. I am nervous about looking at this team ahead because there are so many guys who are pretty damn good at golf on the United States side, and they talked about in the post press conference, oh, we're this team. It's, we're stronger than ever. We're united. I don't think they're that strong when you're going to have guys like Jordan Spieth not play particularly well, and JT didn't even play that well this week. I think it's going to be tough here in 2 years to retain the cup for the U.S., especially in Italy. Which, by the way, I think would be a great trip for the Aloha Press.
Well, hey, you know what? You won the bet this year. You're up one to start the season. It'll be your pick next year for or in 2 years for the Ryder Cup. So we'll see. We got a ways to go until then. But it was a big win for the Americans. It was never in doubt. I mean, it was kind of a foregone conclusion after day one. It really was, which sucks for viewership because you want to be excited Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday, I couldn't get excited. Not that I switched to the NFL to watch the Browns and the fucking Bears play, but it just really wasn't there.
I'm with you. It just lacked some of that zip. It's like when do we start partying? And I didn't realize like they played all the matches out. I'm like, oh god, we gotta watch Daniel Berger on the last 8, like these last like 3 or 4 holes. Just good god, can we turn on something better? Like let's switch to the girls. Let's switch to the wives. See what they're up to. See what kind of cocktails they're having. But wrapping up the Ryder Cup, I thought it was. I mean, when you win a bet, you win a bet, and go USA. I was rather pumped up. It was good to see a victory. It was good to see some of those personalities. I've got to ask you this final question though. When it comes to the Ryder Cup, most major sporting events have some type of kind of feel to it where they can get away from the commercials. Super Bowl has the ability to do that. NBA Finals have that ability. The Ryder Cup seems like there's more fucking commercials than ever. Why have they not turned like Saturday, Sunday into like a pay-per-view only type atmosphere where we get to hear and see all the golf shots? Because hole 2, I never saw anyone tee off on hole 2. I had no clue. It was a reachable par 5. Never saw it. It was always a commercial break.
Well, they got to take a page out of the Masters, something like that, where they tried. At one point they had this Rolex fucking uninterrupted hour. That was it. They tried, but you're right. I mean, especially when this isn't like a normal PGA Tour event. You're not getting boring stretches of golf. In those events, you have the marquee groups, and then you have the guys that are the lower tier. This is the top guys in the world. Every shot matters. Fucking give us some uninterrupted golf the entire way. Find a big sponsor to sponsor, the Saturday round of golf or the Sunday round of golf and give us the viewership. Because, we've already talked about this for years. Playing through is not the way to go.
Oh, my God. It's horrible. I would rather not watch playing through because playing through, you just can't tell what's going on. You
go straight to your phone. You do. You go straight to your phone and you start fucking surfing the net because it's not even worth to try to watch that little box on the side with no, sense of who it is or what hole they're on or what it's pointless.
It was rather rough. But can you imagine listening to Paul Azinger for a fucking straight 4 hours? That's another thing. Like can we get a break? Who can we add in there? Dan Hicks. What? Can we change the voice? Can we get like something? It's just an absolute struggle. If you would have brought on Michael Jordan on the telecast to give us a breakdown of what he saw, I'd have been thrilled.
Hey, MJ was out there, comparing himself to 3 different American players and the different, tangibles that he had compared to these guys. Yeah, bring something on that's different, not corporate sponsors and bigwigs. That is like automatic hit the mute button. As soon as you bring somebody like that on, some rich white dude with a comb over, I'm done.
I love when they're like, hey, we want a big thanks for fucking Ding Dong over here who owns the golf course. And you're like, this guy just made millions of dollars. Like, why are we cutting to this guy? What? I don't need to cheer for him. Okay, I want some fucking golf. It's just crazy. Anyways, Ryder Cup's over with. We'll see you in 2 years. I look forward to it. Up next will be the President's Cup, which I'm sure is just going to be exhilarating. with this U.S. team. We'll see if there's any changes. See if that bonding gets a little closer. I would love to see a little like what is that thing they do in the NFL? Where they go behind the scenes, like they pick one team. I would love to bring bring a little Hard Knocks into the locker room of like the U.S. team. Can you imagine that coming out like 2 weeks after the Ryder Cup and just seeing all the crazy shit that goes on, like the fucking the voice emails from fucking Tiger Woods or so. I feel like it'd be really good TV.
I'd love it only if it was uncensored. I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to see what DJ is really doing when he sneaks out of the fucking players' room and he avoids the ping pong tournament one night. Where does he really go? What is he really doing?
I agree. I don't want to see 8 hours of fucking Jordan Spieth or Bryson. I can't. I'm not. That's not compelling TV. I want the real stuff. I want the fighting. I want the nonsense. I want the beer chugging. I want DJ literally giving a course on how to shotgun a beer on the first tee. Okay, to JT, because that was absolutely incredible. Moving on, Jeff. I mean, golf never stops. This is a sport this is the 14th-month season. Okay, this is what every soccer parent's nightmare is. We got another golf tournament this week, and I don't know what the ratings are. I know what the ratings are going to be. It's going to be like they're going to hope about 18 people fall asleep on their couch after the NFL concludes to tune in to the Big Cock Challenge down in whatever it's called. It's going to be out at Country Club of Jackson in Jackson, Mississippi. This is the 2021 Sanderson Farms Championship. Sergio Garcia is your defending champion. He will be there this week. This is the start of you and I's one and done. Okay, we've got an entire season of guys who you're going to be able to pick only once. And to be quite honest, I haven't done a lot of research on this particular golf tournament because honestly, I think the fantasy team is going to get a hair more attention, and we're going to get a little more attention when it comes to the Aloha Press Classic. But Jeff, I don't know how we kick this thing off. I have this weird feeling that you have the honors just because you concluded the season with a 2-bottle advantage. Who do you got at the reason why I call it a Big Cock Championship is because they literally give out. It was a giant black and red rooster that Sergio. Remember Sergio? He was putting with his eyes closed last year. That's how bad he was putting last year. He was putting. He couldn't even watch the ball. It's going to be an incredible tournament. It's course length is 7,400 yards. It's going to be in beautiful Jackson, Mississippi. I've never been there, but Jeff, who do you got this week?
Well, I will say this, marketing wise, this tournament has done it right. And I don't know if it's just because of what you've renamed the tournament, if it's because of the trophy, but there's 60, 70 tournaments in the year for the PGA Tour. And if it's not a major or a WGC or something big, I don't remember who won year in and year out, but I knew as soon as I saw it was Sanderson's Farm, I knew it was the Big Cock Open, and I knew Sergio was the fucking winner just based off of that. So they're doing something right? I mean, out in the middle of nowhere in Jackson, Mississippi, nobody's ever going to go there. I mean, I could see the Amador Buffalo football team on Friday night getting more fans than this tournament. And it is the start of the one and done. And I appreciate that I get to go first. I ended this season 2 up in our bottle count. You're already 1 up in the new year. I like this new format. I really do. I think back somewhere on your wall there, you're going to have to get a running tally of our picks. So because me, I'll make a mistake and I'll pick the same guy 6 times this year if you let me. So you're gonna have to keep track. It'll be fucking Justin Thomas 3 times in a row, and until you tell me I can't. But I'm gonna go with a small guy, a little guy. Didn't get to be part of the Ryder Cup. I wasn't gonna touch anybody that was part of the Ryder Cup, including the defending champ Sergio Garcia. I'm gonna go with Will Zalatoris. Second in the fucking power rankings.
That's
Second
a strong pick.
I feel like I got enough good guys moving on. I like to take these guys up in the top in the lower tier tournaments. So that's my pick. Hopefully I didn't steal your guy.
No, I looked at him and I'm like, that's the kind of guy you save a little later on in the year. Somewhere you kind of fucked up. You're like, oh shit, I kind of used up all the good ones. I'm gonna go with a guy who I guarantee you was watching the Ryder Cup on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And when it concluded, he did two things to himself. He probably punched himself right in the face a couple times, okay? And then he went out and practiced golf. It's Keegan Bradley. There's not another guy who loved the Ryder Cup more than Keegan Bradley. I think he is more motivated after watching the Ryder Cup than ever before. He is plus 3,200 as Will Zalatoris is plus 1,800. So definitely in the top 10 of the power rankings. So I'm going Keegan Bradley to get the victory at the Big Cock Challenge.
Hey, Keegan's got to have a hell of a year if he wants to keep that Jordan sponsorship. I'm gonna tell you right now, you can't be sponsored by Michael Jordan and continually be, middle of the bottom of the pack. Same with your boy Harold Varner. They got to step it up. They got to make a Ryder Cup team. They got to win a major. I know Keegan's got one. We'll give him a little asterisk on that. But you got to step your game up. You're gonna be sponsored by Jordan. He's the real deal.
If there's one pair of golf shoes that I've never purchased but I've always wanted to, it's just because I can't pull the trigger on the $400 price tag. And I don't want to go with like the shitty Jordan fucking ones. You could buy like the $180 ones that everyone's got. That's got like the Nike bottoms and they've got like some weird cheetah print. I want to go with like legit, like the ones he wore when he like leaped from the free throw line. That's the ones I want. Okay, I don't know which ones those are. I know you do. I would love to own a pair one of those days.
No, I'm the same way as you. You give me the patent leathers. You give me the fucking throwback ones, something like that. I can't buy the same ones. It's like buying Shaqs from Walmart when you were a kid, right? Everybody's got them. You can't do it. Right? I'd rather just buy the 270s or buy some other Nikes and call it good. But yeah, Jordan, I mean, that's a special brand. He's got two guys he sponsors on the PGA Tour. You got to step your game up.
He's got a few more than that. He's got a few. But it's all dorks. It's totally dorks. You got the long-haired guy. What is his name? Big fan of yours. Big Reno guy.
Pat Perez.
You got Pat Perez, and then I think
another guy.
And then I think you've got God, who is it? It's not a Zach Johnson. It's more of like a
Ryan Palmer.
Yes, Ryan Palmer. I mean, these guys are the same age as Jordan.
He might be sponsored, but he's not sponsored very well because his Jordans are dirty most of the time. It's not like he's getting a new pair every tournament.
It's like he walked in the pro shop and bought a new pair. No, I'm with you. Yeah, I can't wait. This the Aloha Press podcast is more of like a high into the right fucking reaction of like just our crazy takes, but also the fashion side of it. We might be in the fashion side of the old podcast world soon.
Definitely an apparel review most of the time, whether it's male or female.
We're just constantly judging people on what they wear. As I'm in a teal blue, flat billed hat. I think this. I don't know what this is. Greg Norman, probably the shark on my back. Absolutely one of my worst shirts.
You look better than me. I got the fucking little boy's comb over and a fucking undershirt from work today. I had no time to change. So
that's what it goes. We put in some work. So really appreciate it, guys. If you do want to tag along for the Aloha Press Classic, and if you're not already going, hit us up. It's going to be an incredible event. Some incredible sponsors, incredible cash to win. And you might be able to buy one of those pair of Nike Jordans golf shoes here in the future if you walk home with some cash. It's so with that being said, guys, really appreciate it. Jeff, anything before we take off as you're yawning at the end of the show?
Yeah, well, I'm tired. I'm putting in my hours today. But I will say this: tune in next week because next week is the Aloha Press Classic pregame show, pre-tournament show, pre-tournament week show, whatever you want to call it. It's a big deal. We're going to probably try to get a couple special guests on. We're getting ready to head up to Tahoe. It's here, second year in a row. So if you made it this long, tune in next week. It's
gonna be fucking crazy. I can promise you that. The guests. I think we have a drink limit for them. I think they're gonna be at 4 or 5 drinks just to make the cut because we've got a few takers that want to be on the podcast making their predictions for next week.
Hey, I want to see a screen that's just bubbles around your face, and it's just fucking rapid fire next week.
That's what's gonna happen. That's what it's gonna be like. So really appreciate it, guys. As always, hit bombs, attack pins, hit the like button, subscribe, and tell 2 of your friends about this crazy show that we produce every week. So really appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys next week. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Wearing all black.
Aloha! Here with JC and Jeff.
Ain't no time for school today.
Hitting bombs.
Hey, watch this punch cut lob wedge. Replace your marshals with cart girls. They're better looking. They're serving drinks.
Got to hit bombs off the tee.
Phil talking about a guy taking a shit in the cut.
Mahalo!
That's what we did fireside with Phil.
Fire at the stick.
Hit bomb and attack the pin.